Well, good morning, guys. Today is Saturday, July 7th, I believe. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know what I've gotten done so far on my canning. This is just a little sampling. Some of the stuff I didn't share with you that I got from my daughter-in-law. I've got enough tomatoes here, also mostly for fresh eating because nothing better than vine ripened tomatoes. But these are my tops: tomatoes, onions, and peppers. So I used my bell peppers in some of the bell peppers in that. And this makes a base for just about anything: Italian, Mexican, soup, whatever you want. Then here's a sampling of my jellies. I think I showed you some of them, but I made 12 pints of different kinds of hot jelly. I think I'm going to take it into town today or this evening. We're going to a party and I think my friend's going to be there, so I'm going to give him this hot jelly. And then I made 12 half pints of jalapeno jelly, which is for weenies like me who can't stand the heat. I've also got a jar of dehydrated bell peppers, strips, and chopped. Now I'm going to show you what I've got over on my other table yet to do. Yesterday I roasted my Anaheims and poblanos and did a horrible job. I burnt most of them. But I'm going to start some chili sauce right now. So I've got a chopped onion, 3 garlic, and my roasted and peeled Anaheim and poblano peppers in there. And I will be using some of my home canned chicken broth. There's the rest of my jelly, and there's my dehydrator. I'm embarrassed by how trashy my kitchen looks right now, but this happens during canning season. This bowl is what I have left of jalapenos. I think I'm going to pickle these, or the biggest part of them. The really large ones, I'm going to go ahead and make some jalapeno poppers, and I'll get to that in a minute. This bowl is what I have left of my bell peppers. I think I'm going to dehydrate what I've got left with that, save a few for eating. And I've got this sack of Cajun bell peppers, and they're probably a little milder than jalapeno. They're kind of a sweet pepper with a kick. I haven't decided what to do with them. I've almost talked myself into going ahead and pickling those along with the jalapenos. And then this bag is washed and halved and seeded jalapenos that I'm going to make jalapeno poppers. I got lucky the other day. I kind of invented a really good recipe for my poppers, and what I'm going to try to do, and I hope it can be done, is I'm going to make up a batch and put them in the freezer, because I don't want to let these good jalapenos go to waste. And gotta brag on myself, those poppers, that cream cheese filling was, oh my god, so good. I just hope I can remember everything I put in it. But anyway, that's today's plan, is to get the rest of the peppers done. And then I also have, I don't remember how many pounds of sausage and bacon. I'm going to can that up too. That is so handy when you're traveling. Okay guys, here's my green chili sauce. And I planned on canning it, but I guess I just read up on it. You really aren't supposed to. There's really not enough there for me to can either. So I will probably freeze it. That's not my preferred way of preserving food, but I've seen some freeze them in bags and they make them really flat, so it doesn't take up much space. Okay, and here's an update on what's going on, what I'm doing with my bell peppers. I cut the tops off, seeded them, then cut the stem out, and what I'm doing with the smaller pieces, putting them in my chopper, And as you can see, I've got quite a few already. It makes a perfect size. And then I'm using my mandolin slicer. See if I can do this one-handed. Whoop. And I just do it with my hands because I take down, when I get real thin there, I bring it over here and chop it. But anyway, I've got several pepper rings. I will be putting the rings and the chopped peppers into one of my dehydrators. I'll probably get 2 at least, or maybe even all 3 of them going. There's some already there, and then others I will just break them into strips. But these dehydrated vegetables are great to have in the winter. Get a handful of different dehydrated vegetables, rehydrate them, and throw them in dehydrated into soups and stews, or rehydrate them and make a pizza, something like that. So I'm going to keep on working on my bell peppers, guys. Now I'm on to the jalapeno poppers. I'm going to fix a few for our dinner. We'll have jalapeno poppers and BLTs. Yum! Anyway, my cream cheese filling doesn't taste the same, but it's still pretty good. So I'll keep working on it. But what I've got is an 8-ounce thing of softened cream cheese. I'm sorry, I don't measure. A couple handfuls of shredded cheddar cheese, some Worcestershire sauce, onion powder, and I ran 2 cloves of garlic through my garlic press because I wanted to make sure and get really small and lots of the juice for flavor. I think there's some smoked paprika and what else? Cumin. Anyway, I've got that all mixed up, and then into my halved jalapenos, I spread the cream cheese mixture, and I cook my bacon until it's almost done. I don't like soggy bacon, and so if it's almost done, it'll be nice and crisp, and my jalapenos will still be kind of tender crisp, and that's the way I like them. So anyway, I wrap a piece of bacon around it and hold it in with a toothpick. The recipe did call for half a thing of bacon, and I tried that the other day, but by the time I cooked it up, it shrunk so much I couldn't wrap it around the jalapeno. So I've got a full strip. So I'm going to get started with this, and then while our dinner is in the oven cooking, I'm going to experiment with freezing some. And I'll just have to report back on how that worked out. Okay, there's my, I'm going to call them experimental jalapeno poppers. They're ready to go. They'll be going down in my deep freeze, and I'm going to let them freeze solid. And I've got them on parchment paper so they won't stick, and they're not touching each other, so they can be individually frozen. Then I'll put them into freezer bags and back in the freezer, and that way you'll be able to take out just enough. Let's say you want a few for a meal appetizer, you could just take out a few at a time, pop them in the oven frozen, and when the bacon's done cooking, they should be ready to eat. It's an experiment, so let's give it a try. Right, guys, it's Sunday morning, July 8th, and we're going to check out this little experiment. I brought up the jalapeno poppers. They're all frozen. These are going to go now into a freezer bag and back in the freezer. But I'm going to cook up a few, and we're going to try them. And if this experiment works, you can bet I'll be filling up the freezer with more when my daughter-in-law brings me more jalapeno peppers. Alright guys, here's the finished product, and you can see I've had a bite out of mine. The old farmer has eaten his, and they are delicious. So, bring on those jalapeno peppers and I'll be freezing up a bunch of poppers. I brought in my dehydrated bell peppers. I'm just letting them cool down on the rack, and I'll get those stored and then on to my next project, canning bacon and sausage.